Hey, hello, hi, it's your girl here, Rein. Welcome back to Anointed to Bling. Did you miss me? I definitely miss you. It has been a wild and crazy ride, but nevertheless, your girl is back and here to stay. If you're new here, I want to welcome you aboard and tell you thank you for joining in. I hope you'll stick around and take a look at some of my other videos. If you're not, I want to say welcome back. You know it always blesses my heart when you join in. And so with that said, I'm here with a new tutorial because I did a thing, and you know it's coming up right now.
छाया आसमां देखो झूमता गगन है छाया आसमां देखो झूमता गगन ज़मीन आसमां पूछ गया झूमता गगन आसमां मेरे झूम ले जहां ये कैसा नशा प्यार का समा रही समझ में आसमां होश तो खोले प्यार तू ले ले संग मेरे झूम जा कैसा नशा होश है कहाँ होश तो खोले प्यार तू ले ले संग मेरे झूम जा
This wonderful thing I have done, you ask. You are looking at her. Her name is Dream, and as of the recording of this video, she is 7 weeks of total blinged out glam. She is the best emotional support thing I could have ever done. I am so elated and in love. I have wanted a teacup puppy for years, since 2013 to be exact, and these dogs are pretty hefty. You know they come with a pretty hefty price tag, ranging anywhere from $5,000 down to the cheapest I've seen at $1,500. But God was so gracious to me, and through a wonderful friend of mine, blessed me with this beautiful little pup here. And so you know what, in welcoming her to the family, we've got to make sure that she has a blinged out puppy palace, and that is why you're here today. You're gonna watch me and my daughter trick out her little humble blingolicious abode. So let's get started. Whew, now before we get started, I have to show you guys some of the wonderful inspirations I found online, and y'all, who, when it comes to puppy love, it is no joke. These beds were running for about $8,000. One of them, $4,000. The lowest was about $1,300 on Wayfair, but they were absolutely fabulous. And you know I had to try to figure out how to make something equally as glamorous for my little pup. And so that's what we set out to do. I found these on Pinterest and Etsy and even online if you do a quick search of luxurious pet beds. And these are absolutely amazing. But you know what? I decided to do what I always do and do my own little thing. And you know what? I think it worked out pretty well. So keeping my inspiration in mind, to be perfectly honest with you, after searching through several thrift stores and furniture stores, trying to find something perfect for her, I ended up at Pet Supplies Plus. If you don't have one, that's okay. They're pretty similar to Petco. And I decided to do a quick search in the pet stores to see if I could find something we could work. I didn't necessarily set out to buy a doghouse per se, but I came across this and it just seemed so perfect. She is a tiny little dog, and I thought, you know what, it can't be that complicated to trick this out. Now, this was the last one. It was about 119 bucks. It came already pre-made. If you purchase this, yours will not. You will have to put it together. But I thought, you know what, we could do some fabulous things with that. So I said, wrap it up, and took it home. So jumping right in here, what you see my daughter and I doing is taking a piece of scrap wood that we got from Home Depot, and we're creating a subfloor. Now, the reason we're doing this is that the original bed has a floor, in 2 pieces that fit together like a puzzle. You want to be careful if you cover that. I did not want to do it. I wanted to make sure I created something plush and luxurious, so we're adding an extra floor, if you will. And so here we're just making sure that that floor fits. Now you see that I've left a little bit of a gap. That is so that when I cover it, that fabric is going to fit nice and snug in there and it will not get stuck. So leave yourself a little bit of space, okay? Now this part is really easy. I am taking some memory foam that I picked up, I believe at Home Depot, and I'm just going to attach that to the wood because you know we weren't going to leave it as a regular old piece of wood. That's not comfortable. But I'm taking that foam that I have already pre-cut and I am just laying that, and I'm actually going to stack that in a double so that this comes out really nice and plush, because we want it to feel like a really comfortable memory foam, really thick bed, okay? And there it is. Now, this actually is not fabric. This is a blanket that I found at Marshall's. It was a little bit on the costly side, and to cut it up might not necessarily make sense to you, but this is her favorite sort of material, so we went with this. And this is super, super easy to do. You're just going to turn over that board, and you're going to lay this over at the edge, and using a heavy-duty stapler for about 20 bucks that I got at Home Depot, I'm just going through and stapling that, making sure to pull it really, really tight so that when I lay it inside the house, it's not going to get stuck or not give us enough room. All right, so you just want to make sure that you pull it tight, and it really doesn't even have to be perfect. It's going to be laying in there flat just like that, and there you have it, a plush little mattress. Now, it's not a puppy palace if it doesn't have ornate elements, so we found these for some change on the dollar at Home Depot, and we're just going to put a nice little flat cream colored base coat on that before we add the gold and silver elements. And we just spent probably about 20 bucks on that paint. There you see us rolling that out. We're probably about 20 hours in here because we were determined to get this done in a day, but actually this was a lot more fun. And you just want to make sure that you don't get too thick of a coat on these pieces, because if you do, that paint is going to buckle up on you and you will have to probably sand it down and start over. Lessons learned. Using a really cheap heat gun that we also got, well, not necessarily cheap, probably about 50 bucks. I'm going ahead and I'm going to just heat that. You don't want to get too close because this thing gets really, really hot and you don't want the paint to bubble. So you could be a little bit further away than you see me here in this particular clip, but this actually does help to get these dry really, really super fast. We even used it on other parts of the doghouse when we were painting it to make sure that it dried a lot faster, because again, we did this in about 30 hours total time, non-stop. Heavy on Starbucks, but we wanted to get this done, and this was really truly a godsend. Trust me, if you don't have a heat gun, invest in one. It's totally worth it. Now, I don't have a steady hand. I don't know about you, but I was not going to be able to get these accents on here with a little tiny paintbrush. And I'm telling you, this pack of paint markers that we found at Home Depot for 20 bucks in a kit of some beautiful metallic covers was a godsend as well. All you have to do is just practice a little bit to see how the paint flows, and then just cover it. This here was a find that my daughter found. This was some wallpaper that we found also at Home Depot that has, if you can see it, a really nice brocade in it. And what I like is that it's pre-pasted. It only takes a little bit of water. You'll see that in just a second, and it's paintable. So we can use those paint markers to design this in a variety of ways. And I'm telling you, you will love this wallpaper. Now, if you're doing a whole wall, you may not, but for this little bitty project, this was definitely worth it. It'll tell you in the instructions to lay this out in like a little bucket of water. We didn't have that, so we got our handy dandy spray bottle and we just saturated it on the back. It is that easy. All you do is get it nice and wet, and then you turn it over, because again, it's pre-pasted, and then just have someone help you easily and gently and neatly lay it out over the surface and pull it a little bit. It's pretty flexible, so if you don't get it right the first time, you can lift it, and then you're just gonna wipe off that excess water. The key is to really get this flat, but see how pretty that is? You can kind of see the design, and when we paint this, it's gonna be amazing. Also note that we took the bed completely apart, okay? You wanna do that before you put it together and get all your designs in. So using those markers that I showed you earlier, I'm going in here and I am placing the gold where I wanna paint it, and my daughter has another piece of the wall where she's placing the silver, and then we're gonna switch. Now, depending on your perspective, this could either be very therapeutic or make you want to go jump off the balcony. For us, it was definitely both. Doing the first wall was like, oh yay, this is fun. By the time we got to the fourth one, it was like, yeah, we're ready to slit our throats. But nevertheless, look how pretty this is coming out, and that metallic gold is like perfect for this particular project. It was definitely worth it. And there you see it, where it's done in the gold and the silver. Tell me that is not sick. Now listen, you don't even have to do what we did. Our colors were gold, cream, and silver, so we left a lot of the white. You could fully saturate this. You could do this in a variety of colors. You can make this your own. Again, it's great for small projects. 17 bucks for a really large roll was worth it. If you got to do a whole wall, I don't know, but this definitely came out very pretty for us. Now, I knew that I wanted her to have a shelf because in it I wanted to place a surround sound speaker, which you'll see in just a second. And we're not going to leave it black, but we did find for $8 this set of 2 wall shelves at Big Lots, and I grabbed it because it was the perfect size, perfect width, and I knew that it would work well. And for $8, come on, you can't beat that. We're not using the 2 of them. We're just using the 1. And no, we're not going to leave it black, as I said. And then here is this really cute little speaker that we also got there for about $10, I believe it was. And you know what I love about this? I'm calling it surround sound because when we turn this thing on, oh my God, the sound is crazy. And since we brought her home at 5 weeks, she really likes classical music. And this makes this house like a total spa. If you've ever gone to have a massage and you listen to the music they're playing, oh my God, this works in that house so spectacularly. And as you can see, we started painting the shelf in a metallic silver, and we're going to go ahead and add some embellishments to that also as well. Now, while I'm working on the speaker, my daughter's working on placing the embellishments. I really like the arrangement that she has on it. These are so fun, and for some change on the dollar, they really do enhance any project that you're working on. As you can see, we've painted it fully in the silver and the gold. We're going to run some rhinestone trim on that also a little bit later, just to glam it up a little bit. But these really do enhance the front of the house, and I absolutely love the way that these came out. I wasn't kind of sure how we were going to place that, but it came out okay. Now, for the outside walls, we originally had the vision of stenciling. Do not get attached. We screwed it up. It sucks. You cannot use cheap stencils for a project like this. It obviously bled, so we scrapped that whole idea and did something different, but I at least wanted you to see the mistakes as well. If you're better with stencils than I am, this actually might work out for you, but it just didn't. We found that this particular stencil buckled a lot, and so we ended up having some leakage, even with doing tiny coats. Yeah, whatever. But when you're a blingologist, you know how to recover. So we had the idea of just putting that same wallpaper on the outside walls. And instead of going through and painting it lest we slit our own throats, we decided that we were going to just take some pearls and some rhinestone trim and just embellish it that way. And there you see my daughter is doing that. And you see that she painted the circles in that metallic silver. That is so that when we lay the pearls, it's not stark white and contrasting with the paper. We wanted and needed a more antique look so you actually see them when it's all said and done. All right. Now, for this part, I decided we could not leave the roof blank. I'm about 20 hours in. I'm tired and a little bit sloppy. I did go back in and clean that up. These are some cute crystals that I got in a little jar from Michael's in the wedding section. They are pointed and they fit right in that groove very, very nicely, y'all. This glue is super hot. Wear some gloves. Be mindful, it was steaming. I'm definitely sure that I peeled off every single one of my fingerprints. Hey, I was sleepy. Do this a little bit better than I did, but I wanted to show you that that is the embellishment we added to the roof, as well as a couple other embellishments that we did not capture, but you will see later. To mark our progress, this is how it's going so far. I've got that shelf up and I'm gonna finish decorating it, but this is it without the roof. We added a little mirror and we were testing out a couch to see if we wanted to put it in there. It's like a little dollhouse couch, a little cheesy, so it may or may not make it. We don't know. Now, if you know me, you know this is my favorite part. Blinging up anything is what I do, which is why we even have this channel. The embellishments are always fun, and you get to see that wallpaper up close to kind of see how we ran those pearls. This is the bomb. I have taken almost every embellishment I could potentially find that was in our color palette, and I've begun to decorate the inside of this house. Now, you might be thinking, what is the point? Hey, I didn't ask you that, all right? It's a puppy palace. And even if she's the only one that's gonna see it, it mattered. So we wanted to make sure that we got this right. I mean, after going through all of this, we wanted to make sure that we went all out, okay? Don't judge me. But look at that. Look at how the wallpaper looks really pretty on the inside. I finished decorating the shelf and glued it. You don't wanna screw the shelf to this because the wall is really thin if you're using this house. So we glued that, we hot glued that, and it will definitely stay. All right, there's the floor. We found this lighting, probably about $9, I wanna say at Ross. It comes in a pack of 3. And I love this because it's super cool mood lighting that comes with a remote that we'll keep on that shelf. And you can actually create a pattern. She really likes the pinky, hazy, bluish colors. And there it is, y'all, the final finished product. And I gotta say, I adore it. I brought this outside so that you could really get a sense of the sparkle. The sun was kind of sort of going down, but you do get a sense of it. That bling is blingolicious. And in the daytime when the sun is filling up the house, this thing sparkles to the heavens. And there you see that gold flower embellishment that we put on the roof in between those diamond lines. We wanted to just make sure that we embellish that. You do see a little buckle on the side of that house. That's not the wallpaper. That's actually the wood. So you want to be careful of that when you buy this house. You want to make sure that you inspect the wood, because if there's a buckle in it, it's going to show when you decorate. But you know, life happens. Still in all, I think this house came out spectacular. This is one of my absolutely favorite projects, and you know what? I am so stoked about this. I'm probably gonna do a couple more and give them away to some really deserving pet parents, just because I feel the blingolicious need to keep going. You know, once I pick up a project, I can't stop. So stay tuned for that. We may actually pop up, and we might even build one of those beautiful beds that I showed you in the beginning. Nevertheless, this came out stunning. On the back, we used a different color pearl just so that we broke up the monotony. But look how pretty that is. She is going to love this little house, and if she doesn't, I'm gonna make her love it, because we put 30 hours worth of work into it. But again, shout out to my daughter for sticking it out with me. She's my little ride or die. This was totally worth it. All right, I'm gonna take you inside and now show you the inside. So this is what it looks like when those lights are programmed to change colors. It is so awesome. I wanted to be sure that she could actually stand it. You know, you don't want to make the dog nauseous or sick. And we put her in here and she went super crazy over these lights. I am loving it. I'm loving the mood, this whole feeling. I wish I could let you hear the music, but we don't want YouTube to copyright me and take the music out anyway. But it's a total spa in there. It is a total spa. We haven't put her toys or her blanket in there yet, but when I tell you this is a total spa, she loved it. When we first brought this house home, she was like, it was way too plain, way too dark, way too deep. She jumped out so fast. But once we finished it, it's like she realized this was her little palace. And man, all we had to do was teach her how to climb up into it, and you almost can't get her out of it unless she really wants your attention. But again, this is one of my most favorite projects. I tell you all the time, the work of our hands are blessed. There she is in it, enjoying it, chewing on her little bone. And you see the little couch did make it simply because she liked it. She's just gonna chew the thing up, but it was worth it as a little toy for her. Again, the work of our hands are blessed. Don't be afraid to jump out there, try something new, do something spectacular. If you're a pet mom like me, I know that you probably enjoyed this project as much as she enjoyed living in it. There is a world waiting on your creativity, your project, and I always tell you, you can do all things through Christ who what? Strengthens you. So don't be afraid to explore. The world is waiting on you. Thank you guys for tuning in. Until next time.